righty, welcome to Algebra Chapter 8, Section 4. Today we are going to be on page 85 and we're talking about special products. So make sure you have this written in your table of contents. And then we're going to flip over to page 85. And here we are, and we are doing special products. Okay, so products, hopefully you remember that's the answer to a multiplication question. And right now we are, of course, if you flip back a page, multiplying polynomials. So these are special things. There's 3 of them that if you can learn them, they're like shortcuts. If you can't learn them, then by all means, distribute, FOIL, or use the box method like we were the other day. The nice thing about this is that you can still get the right answer even if you don't remember these special products. It just is a little faster if you do remember them. So the first one is the square of a sum. And what that says is that if I have a plus b, because this is the sum I'm adding, squared, well, then basically that's just saying I'm going to go a plus b times a plus b. So I'm actually going to work these out to show you what the pattern is, but it's a pattern. So now if I do this, it's going to be a squared plus ab plus ab plus b squared. Now I'm going to combine my 2 middle terms. So I end up with a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That's the pattern. And you may be like, okay, so I don't see how that helps me, especially because I did work it all out by hand. So the example, I'm not going to do all of the steps. I'm going to do it like this. So here's an example. If I have 8c plus 3d squared. So this is the square of a sum. So now the first thing is I'm going to take the first term, my a value, and square it. So 8c times 8c is going to be 64c squared. Now it's going to, the middle term is going to be 2 times the a value times the b value. And it's always times 2 because of this. This is how it works out. So I'm going to go 8c times 3d. So the numbers I multiply, that's 24cd, 24, and then times 2 is going to be 48cd plus, and then this the second term squared. So 3d times 3d is going to be 9d squared. So like I said, this is looking and seeing, oh, there is a pattern, and this is how I use it. But if you cannot remember this, then please write this out like you would here and then do the FOIL, because you do need to multiply everything that's in here times everything that's in here. If you just try to distribute the 2, then you'll get it wrong because you'll be missing the middle term. So you can't distribute like that if there's pluses or minuses in the middle. You have to actually have them written out like this. All right, so that's the first one. Now we're going to do the square of a difference. And the difference is a subtraction problem. So this is going to be a minus b squared. Once again, I am going to work it all the way out. So that's the same as a minus b times a minus b. Now I'm going to FOIL it. So I end up with a squared minus ab minus ab plus, because it's a negative times a negative, b squared. So this pattern, I'm going to combine my 2 middle terms, is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. All right, so once again, you know, what does that look like if I'm doing it for real? So let's say I have this, a minus 2b squared. So the first one is just the first term times the first term. So a times a is a squared. Now I'm going to do this times this. So a times 2b is 2ab, but then it's times 2. So it's going to be minus 4ab. And then it's going to be 2b times 2b. So it's going to be plus 4b squared. So if you can spot and remember these patterns, you can do it a little bit faster. If not, then don't worry about it. Just multiply it out by hand. Once again, you can do it either way. There's one other, and this one is going to be the most useful, I think, but it is a product of a sum and a difference. So if I had a plus b times a minus b, all right, well, if I FOIL this out, it's going to be a squared minus ab plus ab. And you notice this, I don't put it as BA because it doesn't matter the order, but I want to make sure that I know that those are like terms. And then this is going to be minus B squared. So if I have minus AB plus AB, that cancels out. So I'm just left with A squared minus B squared, which is sometimes what people try to do on the top two examples, just the square of a sum and a square of a difference. You cannot do it that way. But if I have a plus and a minus, then the middle term does cancel. So let's take a look at an example. So if I have this, if I have 4c plus 7d times 4c minus 7d. Once again, of course, these only work if the numbers on the insides are exactly the same, but one's a plus and one's a minus. So I'm going to take the first term and square it. So 4c times 4c is going to be 16c squared minus 7d times 7d is 49d squared. So that's it. Like I said, this is a pattern. If you can remember the patterns for these specific kinds of products, then it gives you a little bit of a shortcut, just sort of you know, a way to get there faster. But if you're like, I don't remember any of this, then that's okay. Just make sure that when it's the square of a sum or the square of a difference, that you write it out before you multiply, because you're going to have to FOIL it. If you end up on these two without a middle term, you've done something wrong. So be careful with that. And then the answer to the next question is going to be purple. Y'all have a great day. See you next time.